Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City Council chambers. Today is August 21st, 2025. We're going to have a budget committee meeting tonight for the 2026 budget that's been presented by the mayor. Each member of the council has been provided a copy of the budget in advance. And so I will start out by saying I do have a hard cutoff for 8 p.m. tonight. I don't want these to drag out too long. If we feel like we absolutely need another budget committee meeting, we will discuss that and come up with a date next week. Keep in mind, this is just a committee meeting. No formal decisions are made. No votes are taken. Once we feel appropriate, this will move on to the next council meeting. I would like to get this budget process officially started at the first meeting of September. We do have a deadline, basically end of October, to get the budget submitted per state statute. So I would like to get this completely finalized by the first meeting of October. That gives us an extra meeting in October just in case anything else comes up. I don't want to be kind of right to the end. So I want this budget committee to be productive, ask questions, and from what I understand, not a whole lot's changed, but we still want to have this meeting to present, for the mayor to present and us ask questions. This is not a public comment meeting, so members that are in the audience, we do appreciate you coming tonight. We do have quite a few department heads in here that will have an opportunity to come up to the microphone as well, but it is not a public comment night. So just want to set those ground rules and let everyone know kind of how this looks. So I'm going to hand this over to the mayor and let him go from here.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. This is my honor to present the City of Marion's budget for the calendar year 2026. All of our team has worked very hard to put this together, and I know this is arguably the heaviest thing that we do all year, so I really appreciate the committee meetings and the understandings. And as you know, there's a curveball that we received this year from Senate Bill 1, so you'll see one of the glaring differences is that there is no raises, increases for the employees. But we'll go through that. So I'll highlight a couple changes that I want to highlight specifically are the separation of departments. So under the building commissioner, the animal care and control used to reside underneath that department, and we're splitting that out into its own department. And then the street department and parks department have been combined on and off for some years now, and then we're looking to separate those out, not only from a functionality standpoint, but because by law and by state law, they shouldn't be using cross funds to fund each other. Thankfully, we haven't got dinged for it yet, but I don't want to be, now that I know about it, I don't want to be in a position where we do end up getting dinged for that. So that's a highlight difference that you'll see. Another thing that where I'm proposing that is different for the city is a one-time employee appreciation bonus for all of our employees. So all of our full-time employees would receive a one-time, minus elected officials, I'm sorry, but all of our full-time employees will receive a one-time $1,000 bonus, and all of our part-time will receive a $500 bonus in lieu of us not being able to accommodate raises this year due to Senate Bill 1. Some quick highlights: our general fund this year is proposed at $24,700,000. With the police department being at $8.3 million, fire department being at $7.5 million, and the other city departments being at $8.7 million. For a percentage breakdown, police being at 33.75%, fire department being at 30.69%, and every other remaining city department being at 35.56%. You will see a new line item, which is the food and beverage tax, that'll be a new for us, and thank you guys for working through that with me and getting that done. I think as far as changes, you won't see much other than costs that have to go up naturally, like a phone bill or things like that are due to inflation or adjustments from other outside vendors. So we worked very hard to put it together. Our controller's office did a great job, and one thing that I'm very proud of is that this budget is balanced and still leaves us in a situation where we have a 45% cash reserve. So we're being very responsible with the taxpayer dollars and making sure that our city has it stays within the financial advisement of that 45% cash reserve. So again, thank you so much. Any questions? What I would like to do is get any questions you have for me done, and then if we can go individually through the departments, I think that would be, I would really appreciate that. So any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate that. Any council members want to ask questions with the mayor currently? Councilman Witten.
Just real quick, I know you went through the numbers and Senate Bill 1's on everybody's mind, and it's got us all kind of defeated. I did some research on cost of living, and it's 2.4 to 2.7 in Indiana. And there's no way we can come up with that money to give the employees raises this year.
Yes, we could, but then that would result in us spending out of our savings account. So it would be resulting in a balanced budget being passed unbalanced, and us going into, us dispersing more money than what's coming in.
Thank you.
I just want to add clarity on that as well, because I've really been looking at this really hard. So I just want some clarity, because while we have cash reserves and we could pay for that today, the problem is in 2028, is it sustainable, right? And it's like buying a house and your payment with escrow is more than you're bringing in each month. So you're pulling from your savings for 2 years, but in year 3, you run out of savings, the bill hasn't changed, and you default. So that's kind of, I just want the public to hear that as well. That's kind of the position we're in. It's like, it's not that we can't afford the raise. I think the easy thing would be to do that, but then we're setting ourselves up for failure in 2028. And I think that's why doing this one-time bonus, we have the cash reserves. I think the way I view it is it gets us through next year, gets us through the next legislative session, because we're being told kind of like, hey, hold on, the state has another legislative session, and they want to maybe fix, tweak, change things, so that way we don't see that cliff as much. And there's also contradicting numbers as well. So the state says they have a set of numbers, Baker Tilly has a set of numbers for us, and there's just so much uncertainty on who's right and who's wrong, and they're not talking to each other that I know of right now. So it's just that we can't commit until we know.
And one more thing to add, one thing that's real immediately from Senate Bill 1 is as of next year, we're receiving $840,000 less. That's an immediate change. So 2028 is obviously a cliff fall, but as of next year, that's an immediate change of $840,000 less.
Yeah, and that's next 26 and then 27, we're losing that kind of money. But then 28, it's literally in the multiple of millions.
Correct.
That, like 9 million or something. So the state has really put the screw-ins to the city. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. I don't care if I'm not, what I'm supposed to, what I'm not. They've done this without consulting or thinking of what they're doing to the cities in Indiana.
Yeah, Again, it's every city. I'm in a group text and all of the conversations with mayors, and even our larger cities. Like the mayor of Fort Wayne, she said they're going to be struggling to try to do 1%, and that's the second largest city in the state of Indiana. So it's affecting everyone, but I don't want to lay on that heavy too much tonight. But that's the reality of where we are, and the reality of the decisions we made regarding raise and increases.
And so people know too, it's not just a percentage in raise, but we do pay 100% of perf. So when somebody's salary goes up, perf goes up. So even if it's a 3% raise on the base salary, it actually also increases what we pay in perf. And I think one of the contracts, it also increases what we pay for holiday. So it's a sliding scale. It's not just, this salary times 0.0 whatever. You got to add all those other things into it. So it's more complex, and I hate it. I hate that we're in the position. If we didn't have Senate Enrolled Act 1 or Senate Bill 1, we probably would be in a much different position right now, and definitely probably looking at raises.
Yeah.
So, any questions for the mayor or comments before we go to department heads? All right.
All right. And
So-
I think last year we made animal control
no,
go
park.
last. We made parks go last.
So
Parks
last
gets-
year, yeah.
So Parks gets to go first, and this will be a good one because they're going to be their own department again. So Parks can come first.
Yeah. Rose, I thought about you today, and I thought, wow, she had to wait the whole meeting last year. And I thought, let's make her go first so you don't have to sit all night. So welcome. Yeah, we're on a time crunch here. No, I'm just kidding. Hope you're all right. Yeah, you can sit down. So welcome, Rose, Rose Cadena, and yeah, excited for next year for you. So is there anything you want to share first before we ask questions?
Not really share. I mean, you guys see the numbers, they kind of are what they are. Just keep in mind that we're separating, so we're creating two new budgets, Park and Street. And separating, there's a lot of things to take in consideration in splitting those.
All right, anyone with questions for Rose on parks? Yeah, go ahead, Councilman Calgo.
Hi, Rose, good to see you. They used to be two separate entities in the city before they combined them. Was you with the
Yes,
city?
correct.
Are we, as far as like manpower and things like that, from what we had before to what we're going to have now, is there considerable differences in there?
With this budget, we'd have 12 full-time employees. Before we split, we had 15, but we didn't have the gardens. So we didn't have the splash house, the splash pad, so different things. And we did get rid of a couple parks. We've gotten rid of 3 since we split, but those were just unutilized, really underutilized parks. And then you have to also keep in mind that the gardens didn't exist, and those 3 employees would have been part of the laborers, which they can't be now because they have to stay stationed in there to take care of gardens and all of the rentals. They can't be utilized anywhere else.
Okay, thank you.
Just a question, with the new structure we're looking at for next year, how do you anticipate it will help or improve our parks?
It's going to be tough at first, I mean, because we're going from 8 laborers to 5 laborers and a working foreman to keep up 13 parks. But we're not going to be taking care of anything outside of parks. So mowing, trash route, things like that that are outside the park, street department's going to be taking care of those. So it takes a little bit of things off of our plate. But still, we have 4 guys that mow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's the reprieve day to spray, do anything that's, needs done besides mowing. We're also going to hire some seasonal people during the summer, like we used to help with the mowing and things like that. So it's still going to be a big adjustment period, I think, for everyone. But I think we'll do fine.
Question on the splash house, maybe this more for the mayor, but I remember at the beginning of this summer there was an issue with the toilet bowl, what we call it. What's the status on that?
Yeah, so that'll be one of the first things we consider that comes to the council for out of the food and beverage tax, because we have to do an additional appropriation for it. So that'll be what we use some of that money for to be able to fix that.
What's the estimate on that so far?
It ranges a wide range. I mean, some of them are 30 to 40,000 to all the way up to 300. So that's too wide for me. So we'll narrow it down, and then we'll get it before the Board of Works to see what's the best choice.
All right, thank you. Any other council members? Councilman Brunner?
Rose, I know you can't control the weather, but I believe this was probably about as late as we got the pool open. And of course, with the schools now starting so early, you probably had the fewest number of weeks you've ever been open. Am I correct with that statement?
We did close 2 weeks earlier this year. We were closed the first 5 days
Yeah.
of the splash house season due to the weather. But when I talked to Andy, I think we've made that up as far as revenue. So I don't think that I don't think it hurt us too bad in revenue.
Your numbers looked, when I would go by there, and I usually almost daily have a way of coming by the Splash House, it looks like you had a lot of people there this year. Is that correct?
On nice days, it was very well attended, absolutely. Sometimes maybe too many.
But you are at mercy of the weather because you can't get open unless the temperature's at a certain degree, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming here with your ailment, and I hope you're feeling a lot better soon.
Thanks.
Any other council members for Rose? Yes, Councilwoman Devine.
So are any of the street employees coming over, or is this creating new openings within the Parks Department?
No, our plan is to divide our employees. That's the plan.
Okay, because I saw the names on the street ones, so that's why I wasn't sure. And then there's some without names. So how many are you anticipating that'll have to be hired that are not seasonal?
Well, we have 6 positions plus the foreman, so that's 6. 5 laborers, so we'll be taking 6 people from streets/parks now.
Okay, and then that lowers theirs down by 6 people? Just making sure I understand.
Yes.
Oh, I see it now, okay. I didn't look that far, I was counting people, so, okay. And so that makes up most of the difference going over into the park budget is pulling those salaries from the street and into the parks budget,
Yes.
is what it's not quite even, but.
Yeah, but then also, you know, the parks and the streets have 2 different things, but yes, yep.
Okay. And this, with the way this is set up, we're not having to use any of the new tax we just passed to cover operating expense for the parks, or it will have to be supplemented?
It'll be some supplemented, and you'll see some of the equipment line items missing in materials in this budget, and that's what the food and beverage tax was allowed to alleviate from there.
Okay.
Any other council members? All right. Thank you so much, Rose. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for putting on the largest and best fireworks show in the county this year. Okay. So we just wanted parks to go first since they went last time. So now, is there a certain order you want to go, Mayor?
Let's run down. Let's do our new stuff. Let's do animal care and control.
I forgot what that was. Yeah, it might be, after this, might be just go through the book, the same order in the book.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah, we've got Brittany here. We'll let you go, Brittany, and then we're going to go back to the start so we're not all flipping the whole night. I'm trying to find where it was again. It was in the middle to the back. Yeah. Yeah. All right, any council members with questions for Brittany? Or Brittany, do you want to share anything first?
No, I don't think so. This is my first
Okay.
time doing a budget and
Yeah.
first time Animal Control has a budget.
I will put a side note. I saw Brittany earlier today. I stopped in Animal Care to get some stuff for my dogs, and I told her I immediately noticed that it smells, not that it was really bad before, it is very fresh in there. And I'm very sensitive to animals and cats, and it was like, wow, huge difference, whatever she's doing. She said, oh, I actually have staff in there to keep it cleaner. So mega kudos to Brittany and the team there. Walked right in. It was like, it smelled amazing in there, which First time I can ever say that.
Thank you.
Not that it was bad before,
You just smelled it.
just you smelled a little bit more. So anyways, any council members with questions? I do actually have one.
Yeah.
So I know the county gave some money. Do you know if the counties have committed to any more in the future, or is it a one-time for the next, how long?
They did a 10-year agreement with us. So we still bill out the individual cities within the county, but the county paid us for the unincorporated areas, and then the cities. I think we have them all in the contract now. Besides, she can tell you which ones we have and which ones we don't.
We have Jonesboro, Gas City, and Van Buren.
Did you see any of the, we'll say, revenues go up this year?
So I would say they use us more like bike cases, police assist, but that's the only time they will usually call us for the cities.
So essentially, it slowed down the abuse they were doing to us because they have to pay now. Yeah.
So are they paying per call?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds great. Any council members with questions for Brittany?
Yeah. So it's just you, just 3 people?
So we have 3 city employees, and then we use Pro Resources for the shelter staff. And I have 5 of them.
That would be, that's what's under the contractual services?
Correct.
I just want to make sure, I figured, but
Yeah.
in case he was wondering.
Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Any other questions for Brittany? All right. Thanks so much, Brittany. Keep up the great work over there.
Thank you.
And she told me today that they're looking at upgrading the fence out front, so it'll just look more attractive and look a lot nicer. So I'm just really excited for all the things they're doing over there. They're using some of the county money for that, so. And we appreciate the county for helping with this, so. All right, we'll start at the front of the book, and if you're at the end of the book, then you can blame Controller's Office. Next year, you can vouch to be in the front. So, page 1, Controller's Office. We have Dana.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you.
Anything you want to share before we go to questions?
No, I do not.
Council members, questions with Dana?
Yeah, like just the obvious, the contractual services going up, is that like this with this IT stuff and,
Yes,
okay,
that's the software.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what that big difference is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Okay.
Previously, our IT stuff was paid for.
Come to the mic.
Sorry, previously, our software was paid for out of the Board of Works. So we kind of tried to shift the expenses to the department that it's going to be paid out of.
Okay, any other council members' questions? Again, everything's pretty much the same and pretty cut and dry. Any other questions? All right, well, we hope that's no more questions for you, but you may get called up on some other category, but thanks for coming. Okay, moving into Department 3. Common Council. So I will speak on this one. And I knew we'd have a conversation about it, and I'm open to ideas. Again, this is discussion. We can change things. If you notice, our proposed travel and training. So first of all, so I'll say, I cut the council's budget about 6%, knowing that what's coming, and I know 6% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's about as much as I could trim. Because mainly what our big expense is our part-time salary and if there's healthcare benefits. But other than that, everything else is a very, very minute detail and a smaller amount. The salaries is the most. But the main change, I dropped our travel and training from 5 to 2,000. We're not traveling anywhere, going anywhere. kept it at 2,000 in the event we want to do any kind of AIM summits. I know there's some coming up next year. So that's always available if there's an AIM training or something specific to the council we can look at. And then technical equipment I dropped as well. You know, last year we had at 23,400. I think that was just kind of a carryover. I think if every council member got new laptops and new phones, that's what it would cost. But obviously, we all have phones and laptops. I did send an email out to the whole council a while back that if you're not using it at all and your phone stays off all the time, I just ask if you don't want it, give it back to Danny. We can turn that line off so we don't have to pay for it through Verizon. I know some council members just still use their regular personal phone number. I happen to use my city phone, just keep things separated. But yeah, that's why it dropped. So the technical equipment, what we do pay under technical equipment is our monthly phone bill though. So if you see the expenditures, that's monthly phone bills for Verizon. So drop that down to 10, that would more than enough cover. And I left a little bit in there just in the event that somebody's laptop stopped working. We got a little bit in there to buy 1 or 2 laptops. So, any questions for me or input or yes?
I'll make an input because, you know, this was important with Senate Bill 1. And President McKinley called me and asked me my opinion on this. And I want the public and the employees to know that on our other supplies and services, our total amount last year was $93,400. We cut $21,400 out of that because we knew we were going to have to cut ours too. So the only thing we didn't cut out of ours was our wages. So other than that, we cut $21,400 out of the rest of our budget, which left it at $72,000. So we just felt that that was imminent. We asked everybody else to make sacrifices and cuts, so we went ahead and did that with our budget. So thank you.
I appreciate that, Vice President Fordyce. Actually, there was another 5,000 in there too. If you notice, under miscellaneous contractual, that category we kept there just in the event that we needed any extra expertise on any kind of ordinance that maybe Marty wasn't able to do. We didn't end up using any of it this year so far. Marty's done a great job. He's kind of like the quiet behind the scene, but he's done a lot for me this year, helped write some new ordinances, gives legal advice, lots of phone calls and meetings that most people don't see about. So Marty's a tremendous asset to this council, at least to me. Every council member can use him as well, but I did cut that down 5,000 because we just really didn't use much, but I still want a little bit in there just in case we need to hire outside counsel for any kind of specialty type ordinances or legal advice. But other than that, any other questions, comments, input?
I don't think they could cut anything out of our pay. I think it would be illegal at that point, wouldn't it?
Well, we can cut our own pay.
I know, but
Yeah.
I think it would be like child labor law, wouldn't it?
That's probably right. And I will speak out of the side of my mouth when I say this. Well, I think the president should probably make more because how much work the president does, but I didn't sign up for this for the pay, and I would probably do this voluntarily just like any other board I'm on as well. So I say that humbly that this is it's a tiring job. You get very little pay, and if you probably broke down my hourly wage, it's probably 25 cents an hour. But I'm not asking for pity or sympathy. I absolutely love what I do, but yeah, I would not ask. I could have kept it last year the same and be fine with that. But I'm not here for the pay. I'm here for the hard work. So, any other council members? Okay. We'll move on from the Common Council and go to Board of Works. Anybody from the Board of Works going to speak, or is that going to be you, Mayor?
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to make comments on?
No, I don't have any opening comments.
Looks like the changes were office supplies, a reduction in workman's comp. I'm just curious, I'm glad to see that, but is that because, I know we estimated 310 this year, is that because that's just more in line where we think this year's number is going to be as well? I don't know, Linda, if you want to answer that.
So you'll see the reduction in workers, oh, sorry. You'll see the reduction in workers' comp, but normally what happens is we'd have to transfer the money from workers' comp because it usually runs between 238,000, 250, maybe a little bit more. But the balance of the money that was remaining in that appropriation, we would have to transfer down to like liability. So we tried to put the money where the cost is. So if the liability is actually more closer to 420,000 where we were only budgeting like 300,000. So we would take the money, the appropriation from the workers' comp line and move it down to liability. So we just tried to put it where it should be at.
Okay. Yeah, the next line wasn't as good.
Yeah.
We lost on one and gained on another.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me, I'm just curious, that liability, where do all $420,000,
Okay,
where's that
so
all going to go?
that's liability for police, of course, for fire, for all city staff, attorney liability. Yeah, it just covers all city hall employees.
So we pay $420,000, and does that give us, like, what liability limit are we at? Are we at a 10 million, 100 million? Do we have a limit on liability, or is it unlimited?
That is a question I don't know, but I can find out the answer to. Okay.
I'm just curious how much we're paying in premium versus the coverage and protection that we're getting, and are there any other endorsements that might be worthwhile, or are paying for an endorsement we don't need?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Obviously that's kind of my area of
Right.
expertise on the outside of here, so I'm just curious about it, but we can talk about it offline.
Okay. And then also I took out the auto. I tried to put that in the departments that pay. So if the police department is a little bit more and the fire department is a little bit more, I say that jokingly because the chief didn't want me to increase his budget, but it just goes from one department to the actual department that spends the fund. So that's what we were trying to do, make it what it costs basically to fund each department. So you'll see in each department's fund that automobile, if they have vehicles, their automobile insurance will come out of their fund, or their fund.
Okay.
I think that's better anyway. It's more transparent. You know exactly, instead of you guys having a big category for everybody.
Right, right. And then it was kind of, if they get new cars or things like that, there's not money in the board, or usually extra money left over, so those departments usually have a little bit to move around to fund their own additions, so. And then the only other thing would be the COIT bond payment went down just a little bit, and then the transportation match. We do match 10%, the city's portion for transportation, so that went increased a little bit. And that's it.
All right. Maintenance agreement, what is the maintenance agreement for?
That covers all of our copiers. We have a maintenance agreements for copiers. Trying to think what else it covers.
Do we lease all of our copiers?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what I figured. All right. Any other council members, questions for the Board of Works? All right. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to Department 5, Community Development.
Good evening.
Welcome. Anything you want to share with us first before the questions?
I guess I would just say we have 2 full-time employees. When I started 11 years ago, we had 4 full-time employees, and so it's me and Dina Weiss now. We're doing a lot of work, but we're managing. If anything, I really need an assistant. Dina's doing all of the vouchers, accounts payable. I'm doing the payroll, but I got good news from the mayor that There is a partnership through the Grant County Economic, it's the ECI Regional Partnership, and they're able to supply an intern for a whole year for free to us, and they're paying for it. So I'm really excited about that. I just wanted to share that promising news.
That is good.
That's great. Is that through the 4GCI? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Sounds great. The only thing I noticed difference on there was the auto,
The
or it was
auto.
added. So what's the difference there?
We have a city cargo van basically just to haul all of the stuff that we need to haul for our events.
Like your new speakers and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any council members with questions for Layla?
You guys do a great job with just two of you. I mean, in all departments, it's amazing to me that everybody's doing more with less, and it just shows you what kind of city employees we have, and I wish we could do more for you.
I understand the position that we're in, you know, we got to do what we got to do.
All right, any other questions, comments for Layla? Councilwoman Devine.
Under professional services, what all do we put in the contractual services?
So right now, it started out that Jeff Ray's our grant writer and Joe Murphy, the economic development director, was getting paid from a different budget, and now it's actually coming out of our budget.
Are they
And
both?
that's just, those are the two biggest payments out of that contractual, so there's more that we pay for through contractual.
And we're expected to keep both of those for next year as well then? Okay.
And is that a set monthly amount that we pay?
Jeff Ray's is a set amount, and then Joe Murphy, his amount has varied quite a bit from what was planned, so I'm really hoping to keep that 8,300 or 83,000 in there.
Okay.
Do we have an estimate of what 2025 is going to land at? I know we estimated 83,000 for contractual this year. Do we have any kind of idea? Are we going to be close, over, or under that?
We'll probably use all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And each one of them, they have a set amount that they can use, correct?
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Any other council members? All right. Thanks so much, Layla.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
everything you do.
Thank you.
And if people don't know, you got to check out the podcasts that they put on how the city works. So they do a great job with that. All right, moving on to Department 6, City Hall Maintenance. Come on up, David.
Happy birthday, David.
Oh, it's his birthday today?
Glad everybody got to
Oh,
today, so.
Vice President Fordyce, are you volunteered to lead the birthday? Just kidding. No. We'll pass. Simon Cowell says we got the X, and we're good. But yeah, you are. All right. So appreciate you coming in. Anything you want to share before we go to questions?
I don't think so.
You turn your mic on.
Everything's, nope. Well,
Any council members with questions? You feel like this is sufficient to do your job and keep everything looking nice and shiny? And
yeah, I think so. I think next year I've got a few things planned, if you'd like to go over that. We're looking for re-roofing the MPD and above here, then the whole building will be completed, roofed, and that's going to be another 25 years or 30. We should be okay with that. I'm looking next summer to hire some seasonal help. It's just me and Ruben, you know, and when one of us is off, it puts a lot on our plate. You know, my wife teaches, so I like to take some summertime off. And, you know, the last couple of years, there's been a lot going on. And I want to keep it going, you know. You know, some prices went up, permits, fire alarm inspections, elevator, stuff, stuff like that just went up. But if I can just keep where I'm at now, then it'll be very appreciated.
Any council members, questions, comments? All right. Thanks so much, David. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right, moving into Department 7, City Court. Anyone from City Court here to speak? Okay. Yeah, I don't remember seeing, I think it's all the same, right? Yeah, I think I don't remember seeing anything different on that one. Okay. Go ahead.
Have we discussed the possibility of turning the city court back over to the county? Is that a?
We'll have, there's,
I'm just putting it out there as we're talking about ways to possibly save money or, I don't know what it brings in
that's probably a conversation
revenue-wise.
for a different meeting.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
It's been brought up
it's been.
It's been brought up.
every year for the last several years, so it's a separate discussion.
Okay.
It's more complex than it sounds.
I didn't know if it
Yes.
was just a budgetary thing or if there was other stuff involved, so,
There's a lot involved,
Okay.
but it has been brought up, but yeah, that's a whole nother discussion.
okay,
Happy to talk to you again about it.
okay.
Okay, moving on to Department 8, Legal Department. I did see Michael Hotz back there, so he's here to speak. Welcome, Michael.
Got an update, so luckily I'm pretty good with my feet.
If you want to turn the mic on.
But I'm not a numbers guy, so I'm going to lean on the rest of these. Okay.
So I do have a question. There were some emails back and forth just today of the publishing of updated ordinances to American Legal. I was emailing back and forth with our city clerk, Debbie Goodman. She wasn't able to make it tonight. And she said she had not put it in their budget, but that she wasn't sure if it was in the legal budget or not. So can you tell me, first of all, I know we've had discussion about this, who is getting those updated for American Legal and what budget are we putting it under?
Yeah, so we've taken kind of over just from what's been done in the past as far as updating those things. And submitting those. We submit that to American Legal. It's kind of an ongoing thing. So the clerk will get the signed version sent to us, and then we'll forward that on. And then they come back on a yearly basis. They're not the quickest, but they're one of the best in town in the business as far as updating them. So yeah, it should be done every year. I tried to get a quote kind of earlier from them. Last year, I think we talked about it, and I know historically is a couple $1,000s every time they do it, but they really couldn't give me a solid quote, So it's not in our budget. It is something that we need to do. There should be an update, probably from last year, that comes out yearly. Now, they don't put everything in there, so it's really more the substantive type thing, like the salary, the resolutions, those don't go in there. But, major things do. So my opinion is it's more of a clerk functionality, right? They're the keeper of the records. They have all the records themselves, the original copies, the publication. We rely on them if we have a gap in something, we're going over there. So once it kind of gets signed and done, it should just be sent over there and probably just put in their budget. But I wish I could give you a solid figure. I know that when they did the whole version years ago and updated it, was a $20,000 to $30,000 deal. My guess is it's less than $10,000, probably less than $5,000 to do a yearly update.
I mean, it's something that I'm very passionate about because, we have a link on the website, so if somebody that lives here wants to know what the current ordinances are, that's where they go.
Yeah.
And we've made changes last year and this year, I know on the council rules, and other ordinances, and so, I mean, I want to get those updated pronto. So I mean,
Yeah, they're definitely all assembled and sent over. It's just probably putting a little more fire on American Legal to say, hey, you know, get us the updated version. Get it on our
Okay.
website, you know, get the hard copy.
well, yeah.
Mr. President?
Go ahead.
Not that it can't be changed, but in years past, it's always been a clerk function.
Well, I've talked to Aisha and Debbie, and when Aisha worked in legal, she said for the previous administration, the legal kind of did it, but I agree that it should be a clerk functionality, and so I've had conversations. That's why I was emailing Debbie about it. But so, you know, she wasn't the clerk at that time, so she's not used to putting in her budget. So that's why I didn't know if by chance you'd thrown it in yours by chance, but if not, then this will be under the city clerk, so we're gonna wanna budget that, Mayor, for next year. I mean, it's maybe 5,000 or less, and if it would go over that, we have to look at an appropriation, but I think it's critically important that we stay on top of that. We don't want things to happen that we've discovered that from 20 years ago was passed, but it was never updated, and nobody had any idea, so. I just want to make sure.
It's just and I think it's one of those things that if it kind of lives with the clerk, that way when they get the final version, it's less people touching it, right? So, because if they touch it, sign it, then, you know, they didn't get sent over to us, and we don't, you know, forward it on. And so, and then also, you know, city attorneys come and go, administrations come and go. So if it lives with the clerk's office, then there's just not that transitional thing. It's just like, hey, which is part of our practices in our budget. We take care of it. So, but yeah, we're taking care of as far as it goes now to get it updated, and so I'll circle back and find out what the update is American Legal is, because they owe us an update.
Okay. Yeah, if we can make sure those are in and then get the bill for it, and then, you know, we can talk to the clerk's office about adding it to their budget. Any other questions for city legal? All right. I think we're good. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, and segues into the city clerk, Department 9. Debbie had informed the council that she couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately, but there really are no changes in her budget other than adding $415 for subscription and dues. It's actually it's less than that. I think it's like 200 something. But when we do the minutes for the city council meetings, we started this last year. They are recorded, and then they use a software called Otter AI that actually takes that and puts it into the minutes. Aisha does correct and update everything, but it has saved them probably at least a half to a full day of work from transcribing an entire city council meeting, especially those 3-hour meetings. There are a lot to transcribe. So that's for the software. That's the only update, only increase. It's like $200 some a year for that software, and it saves them a lot of time. So she said there's nothing else. I think, Mayor, I'll talk to Debbie this week, and that might be the only ask I have from them is to add something in there for the American Legal Publishing, so we can make sure we're getting everything updated on that website. Because if you can't trust what's on there, no one's gonna go look at it. So, any council members, input, questions? All right, moving on to Department 12, Mayor's Office. Go ahead, Mayor.
It's me. Everything is pretty much the same, other than you see a reduction in staff, which is about a 27% decrease. So other than that, we're pretty much the same.
Any council members' questions? Vice President Fordyce, go ahead.
Mayor, how come we've increased travel? I mean,
it
we've
is
gone
different.
from 2024, it was 9,000. Last year was 12,000. You increased it to 20,000.
Come gone a lot. No, seriously. Usually when I'm traveling to meet with potential businesses and clients that are looking to come to the city of Marion, it results in me having to travel to those specific locations, and that's what that budget is used for.
But why such a big increase from years before?
Because we
Are you saying the mayors before never did anything?
I didn't throw a shot. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is the justification for that expense is the traveling that I have been doing. So I mean, I just got an invitation today to go speak at a national conference on behalf of the city of Marion, and that wasn't on my agenda normally. So that's where those kind of things come from, to be able to take care of when we travel to those. Or if I get another White House invitation, I want to make sure that we can have a budget to be able to take care of it.
Can you invite them here instead of the White House?
If they want to come, I would love to host them.
You know, we might be able to cover their travel in your budget.
I would love to host them.
Well, I would like to
Actually,
say.
probably not. No,
I would say the taxpayer cost for the president to come here is exorbitantly higher than him to go there.
Okay, and then on your promotional and your educational, you increased that $500 each.
Yeah, so the educational, we use that as well for when we travel to AIM. That's a lot of expenses for that. And
that's just for you, though, correct?
Yeah, that's just for me, yep. And also when I'm involved in the Mayor's Innovation Project, which is a nationwide gathering of mayors that we're thankful to be selected for. But when we go to those, that's a part of the expenses of education and instructions that we have to.
Okay, so is that for the conference fee?
Yep, both
on
of that.
Promotional, they charge you $500 fee for
it varies.
Tickets or
yeah, it varies for what the specific conference is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members? Questions? All right. We will move on to Department 13, Engineering and Planning. The soon-to-be retired Mike Raff, but not quite retired Mike Raff.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Just about a week.
Well, we still get to see you, though.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's good to see you all, too. So as you peruse through this, you're going to see a substantial decrease in the engineering and planning budget. The salary for the head of engineering is gone, and the larger item is the 33604 street maintenance is down to zero from $260,000 at the bequest of the lovely Linda Fall to be able to help with Senate Bill 1.
Can you elaborate more on that? I know
Sure.
we briefly talked the other day.
Yeah,
on that.
so what's not on here, and we don't really talk about it, but I get funding from the state, several different buckets, local road and street, CCI, CCD, and now we get the county wheel tax. So next year, the anticipation that we've been having for the last couple of years is we try to go after the max for community crossing. That match has been $1.5 million, and next year the max we'll be able to get is $1 million from the state. So I can decrease the local road or the street maintenance budget by the amount that I've got, because I'm not going to be dispersing the additional $500,000 to go after the match, because quite honestly, I can't. It's not going to be available for us. So $2 million would be the max expenditure, $1 million from the state and $1 million from this budget. So taking the $260,000 out does not really impact, because I'm not expending the other $500,000. So.
Question on that. There is a wheel tax currently. The county has it, and we receive some of that. Moving forward, if we were to implement our own wheel tax, would that wheel tax just be equivalent to what we're getting from the county, or would it increase if we had to pass a wheel tax?
I don't have those exact numbers, but my anticipation, since we're splitting the amount that the county gets and it's distributed among the different entities within the county, we will probably likely increase. Not that we would stack. The citizens of Marion would not get the county added to them plus the city. It would just be the city. So there would be. I certainly don't have those numbers, because I don't know what the calculation would be. So. And
I think this is in line with Senate Bill 1 that I think the state really wants to put the taxation control in the local hands. And so unfortunately, the path we're going to have to take and talk about the big T word a couple times.
Yes.
As the state reduces taxes on other ends for our locals, they want us as a city to find other ways to fund
Correct.
ourselves. And the wheel tax, while there is currently one in place that that you go register your car, you pay it, it does trickle down to the city. Moving forward, possibly next year or the following year, we would have to implement our own that would replace what we're getting from the county. So I just wanted to share that for the public and,
You can speak, David. We kind of had a brief conversation about it, and I sent you an email too.
I'd rather have you
so-
explain that,
Okay.
why the city-run wheel tax is going to be very, very important.
Right. So
financially to the city.
Going back to what you just said, President McKinley, is that the state is looking for the locals to start taking care of their own obligations locally rather than getting state funding. So by 2027, if we start looking at trying to get additional funds from the state, i.e. community crossing, if we've not implemented our own municipal wheel tax, then we won't even be considered for those additional dollars. So we will still get the dollar, we'll still get the money from the county. That's not going to change. We just will not be able to levy that money to go after additional money for community crossing. And I sent an email out to Councilman Kane and Councilman Cowgill that kind of gives some deadlines of when this is coming. So 2026 is when we really need to look at it. In order to, we have to have it by September of 2026 in order to be able to implement it for 2027. So something that obviously no one likes to talk about it, but it's not any really more of a burden than what you're already paying now. It's just going to come more directly to us.
But we can't afford not to get.
No, well, if you want to go after community crossing,
Right.
I mean, you're already, the citizens are already paying for it, so you need to pass it so that you can levy those dollars. Because if not, you're still going to get the county, but no additional funds. Yeah.
I thought that. Real quick, if I may.
Yeah.
Is that wheel tax in addition to the county, or it's just we get the same amount?
It's proportional, yeah. So when you go to get your license plate, if it's $35, $25, whatever you pay for the plate, then the county gets it, and then they take the distribution and give it to the other smaller communities, and then we get a distribution of it. If we initialize it, we may encounter all of it. I don't know what the breakdown is, but instead of it being partialized.
I was just curious. So it's not going to cost the taxpayers any more money. It's just a different way
that they're
of
already paying now.
the city
We're just going to
capturing it.
garnish more locally.
Understood.
Yes.
Thank you.
well, to clarify that, we can set our own wheel tax. That's where they're putting it into the control of the cities and the counties. So we could look at kind of what we're getting out of that and just set ours to be the same. We could do less, we could do more.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so when the county said it, they sent a specific number because they had to distribute more. If, let's say, you could actually, I don't know what the number, this is a kind of a pie in the sky. If it being 35 now, it could be 25, but we may get out of that 25, the whole full 25. So you could decrease the amount to the taxpayer and still gain the same amount of money and then have that flexibility for the community crossing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the county can still, if the county.
County can still do theirs, yes.
Would it stack on top of those that live in Marion, though?
No.
Just in the unincorporated?
A little bit. Not 100%, but yes.
Okay.
I'm positive I read in one of the final versions of that bill that we didn't have to do the wheel tax in order, I'm positive they wrote that in. Did they? That they wrote it out. Did they dump it back? Did they sneak it back in?
Yes, I think what they've done is they used what they're calling lane miles. So if you're not adopting it for your lane miles, then that's the kind of the caveat of where they changed the language. Yeah.
Any other questions for Mike? Okay. I guess maybe for, well, transparency purposes, right? So people might think, well, we're not going to have everyone here for engineering and planning. It's $0. Could you share, Mayor, kind of what the plan is with that?
So we switched to the contractual model to where the the head of engineering and planning will be contractual services, and that will be done by a company called HWC, which specializes in this kind of thing. So, and obviously Mike will still be around in a different capacity, but still be able to give help and advice to them, as well as Brian and Lisa. And this was also a tactic to be able to save money due to Senate Bill 1.
And with that, we don't have to pay perf, Social Security, all of those other things add on top of the salary. So just want to make sure the public knew. Anything else for engineering and planning? Any other council members? All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Your last budget?
You'll see me again for the next two.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I'll be handling the budget. I don't think we'll get HWC because I'm not going to pay them the money to come and talk to you, so.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
I'm going to stay up here.
Well, I see the building department's next. Building department, or the department number 14. So, building department, anything you want to share? Any other questions?
No, it's pretty standardized. As you see down the board, nothing's really, there's a little bit of health insurance changes, and that's a decrease, but everything else has pretty well stayed the same. Jerry's not here. He had surgery, so I'm kind of filling in for him, so.
Yeah, I saw the big drop in salary. Is that because we're shifting to another department? What was that for?
Animal care and control.
Yes, animal care and control was part of that.
That's right, yep. Okay. Any council members, questions? Vice President Fordyce.
Yeah, Mike, I don't see a building inspector on here. What do you have him under?
That's permit compliance
You're
officer.
using permit compliance as a building inspector?
Correct.
Okay. Why are we keeping building commissioner?
That's Jerry.
Why do we need a building commissioner? He's retiring.
I don't know. I think that's a
Why do we
question
need a
for the
building-
mayor.
We're taking animal care and control away. So he's just going to be over what? What's the commissioner going to do? No, he was over 3 departments, I believe.
So the building commissioner will now actually get the function of what a building commissioner is supposed to do, which is, well, he still has code enforcement. So now he still does a building commissioner. The role will do a building commissioner and code enforcement. But then now we have a building commissioner that can actually be a building commissioner, and then that job description is extensive in and of itself. So really, having a building commissioner over animal care and control was in my opinion, not a very good choice, because the building commissioner and animal care and control have nothing in common. So this is now allows that position to be able to function in its what it's supposed to be.
So what's the building commissioner going to do?
Oh, and so it ranges from building inspections to assisting in code enforcement to demolitions to what are some other things? When new builds and new companies come, they have to do all the paperwork that comes with that. So it's an extensive job.
Commercial building sign-offs, he has to go through all the drawings, all the plans. He's the one that goes through when we get like a Love's addition or a Walmart. He's the one that goes through all the drawings and approves them from after it comes from the state.
Okay.
In that, the building department, don't they get probably the majority of the phone calls that come into the city as well?
I think it's between the code enforcement and engineering.
Right.
We probably get the bulk, those 2 departments, yeah.
People don't realize too, any sign you put up, if you have a business, you want to put a sign up, permit, there's a lot. Constantly, any new restaurant comes in town or new business, it goes through the building commissioner, so. Any other questions? Are we really done with you, Mike? You don't want to talk about IT?
I'm going to go home and watch Little League.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Moving on to Department 17, Information Technology. Welcome, Danny.
Good evening.
Is there any way we can cut some of the employees in this department?
I guess we go down part-time.
Yeah, so essentially, Danny is IT, so there's no other positions to cut, and Danny does a great job, and I don't envy you. All the different buildings, departments, I know you have some help from the police department.
Yep.
There's some help in there, but there's a lot to manage. So anything you want to point out before we go to questions? Anything?
You can see the increase for what contractual services. That's our cybersecurity we have right now with Exos IT. That's why you see that increase. That's something we need. We got it for this year. We'll need it for next year. So that's the increase you see for me. And then I think also the auto insurance. I have a Jeep, a city Jeep, and I'm going to start paying, I guess, for out of my budget now. So you see that.
Oh, yeah, that was the transfer she's put
Yep,
underneath.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not necessarily a net increase, it's just the moving from one department to another.
to another.
Show that you
Yep.
have car insurance on your city car.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, this looks about the same other than about 6 cents. Is that why we got it? In ours book says 74,885, and this paper says 74,885 and 6 cents. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, yep.
I dropped it on the floor.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel like this is sufficient for our needs?
Yeah, actually, I like it. I sleep a little better at night now, knowing we have some funds there to secure the building and IT.
And with the transition from the controller's office going to the cloud base, that's going to take a little bit of a stress and load off of some of our servers, or how's that look?
Yeah, well, we won't have to replace the server. That'll help in the future. It don't really take a lot off my plate. It was just one server, and Keystone's really good about taking care of the girls. So.
Okay. All right, any other questions, comments for Danny? All right.
All right.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, moving on to Department 21. That one will be the fire department. Welcome, good evening, Chief Carr.
Hello, good evening. How's everybody doing?
Anything you want to state or comment about before we ask questions?
No, I'm just glad it's not less. So I'm good.
I think we're paying more in the pension. So line 113-08. Just for clarity, that is what we are paying towards the perf. That's the 6%. The firefighters match. Can you come up? I just want everyone to hear this so they know what we're paying and why.
Firefighters and police pension went up, and it's actually state or mandated by the retirement system that we pay into. And it was 26.3%, and it's going up to 29.3% of their salary. And the city does pay the entire portion of their retirement. So we pay all 26% of what a first-class firefighter makes.
So I hear this correctly. So property taxes going down, the city budget's going down, the state told us to lower it, but they also want us to pay more towards their retirement too?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Just making sure I understand this
Yep.
puzzle. And you said we pay 100% of, I think it's police and fire's pension portion,
Correct.
right? Because normally they pay most.
They would pay the 6%.
6%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Is that standard? Is that normal for most cities, or how do we look on that?
I don't think that it's normal for most cities. It was just something that they had negotiated in their contract. Probably under Mayor Siebold, so it's been a long time.
Close to 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's call it a perk of the job,
Yeah.
we'll say. Okay, I'm glad we can do that.
Yep.
Great. I just want to understand that pension, I saw it go up and like why and where. I want the public to understand that we don't just pay a salary, but we're paying retirement, pensions and all that, which are great, and they deserve it, so. Any questions, any council members? Councilman Brunner?
Chief, you've had some really nice weather. Are things going well on the downtown fire station?
As far as I know, they're pretty busy over there. They've already got Booth Street cut up for the water supply for the sprinkler system of the building. So they're going pretty quick.
Why do you need a sprinkler system? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
We want to make sure your mic's on. We don't ever want to hear the joke. Okay. Any other questions, council members? Give you a chance, so it's a little bit larger than the other sections. Of course, you'll see the automobile, but that's the insurance just moving over to your department. The $110,000 in automobile or fire truck insurance.
Not cheap.
Did we have any claims last year? Any large fire claims on the fire trucks? I mean, how's our record look?
I think it's pretty clear as far as I remember. I don't think we had anything.
So we're saying we need to go back to the insurance company and negotiate a lower
That's what I
premium,
would
right?
do. See if we
Maybe
can
I
get a
shouldn't be saying that.
little reimbursement or something.
No, yeah, some claim-free discount on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Councilman Marshall.
I'm curious about line item 22302, vehicles equipment, $115,000. It's the same as last year, right? Or not? No. So what's that for?
That is all of our vehicle maintenance is done out of that and some equipment, but it's mostly vehicle maintenance.
But not the trucks?
The trucks, yes. So all of the fire trucks, all of our command vehicles, my chief's vehicle, all those, any vehicle that we have, maintenance comes out of that budget, out of that line item.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilman Marshall. Mayor and Chief, just a question. So I've had this question brought to me just about the fire station downtown. With this budget, does this budget cover any potential maintenance? I know it's going to be new and it's not even going to be done. Well, shoot, I don't know. It's not done next year, is it? Is it end of next year?
1 year. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe a year from now we should be.
So this budget necessarily isn't going to cover any bills, maintenance, because that department's really not going to be open very long next year. So moving into 2027 is when we're going to have to look at any potential extra electricity and expenses, correct? Okay, just didn't know if there's anything in here for that, being that it probably won't be open very long next year.
No.
Okay. Any other council members? All right, Chief, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving on to Department 22, Police Department. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mayor, members of the council. I'm glad to answer any questions you have about funding the finest police department in the state of Indiana.
Any council members, questions? Councilman Brunner.
I'm looking at your regular salaries, just a little bit more than this year. Meanwhile, the total dollars are right about the same. So are you not giving raises, or are you running the same number of policemen, or what is going on in the upcoming year?
Yes, we're at 59 officers. I think the last year's number probably reflected one or two more than that. And that helped facilitate the raise the officers received last year, which was pretty substantial. Thank you, Mayor. I think last year the raise was the largest raise that I've been associated with in 40 years on the police department. So we're grateful for that. And also another change, if approved, will be the bonus that's being offered by the mayor. If you see fit to approve that, that's affected that number.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Question for you, Chief. So can you kind of outline what is the current, how to describe it, retention or longevity structure look like? Can you explain that?
A moving target. We have lifers like me who are committed and will be committed, and then you just have this constant moving and shaking. We just talked to an officer today who's applied to the federal level, Border Patrol or ICE. That's still in flux. He doesn't know, but he was kind enough to let us know that he was looking. I just saw one of our officers, a veteran officers, wheeling a two-wheel cart by my door to remove his stuff from his office. He's going to IU Police Department for more money, and he's a veteran officer. But we're holding the line. I'll be brief. When we took over, I think we were losing. It was a one step forward, two steps back proposition. I think if I had to put it in those kind of terms, I think we're at a 3 steps forward, 2 steps back ratio now. Hopeful to be increasing that ratio on the win side. We're winning more than we're losing now. We've had a couple lateral transfers that we hadn't had in quite a while. When we took over, we were, I want to say, 14, 15 officers short with no one in the pipeline. Now we're pretty close to fully staffed, and we have recruits coming to us on a regular basis. We interviewed today candidates who would be in the standby list. If we don't have spots for them, we're going to be having a position that we haven't been in for quite some time to actually have guys standing by working, guys and gals working the jobs that they have, ready to come give their 2 weeks notice and come work for us when the next person leaves. So it's happening less frequently. We're having more, we've had a couple laterals, which is encouraging, and we're not losing as many. But we still, it will always be the case that we'll have turnover.
Do we pay anything for lateral transfers right now?
No, we've discussed that, but we haven't formalized anything in terms of money. The laterals, the feedback I've gotten is they like what we're offering here at MPD in terms of I'd like to think the support that we provide, the empowerment to do their jobs, the support when they do their jobs, and our family. We have I don't want to say family. We're still a business. We're running a business, but our guys take care of one another, and I think that has value. When we have officers leave, typically what they'll say when they come back to visit, which number one, they come back to visit, and what they'll typically say is some version of, I'm making more money where I'm at now, and the guys are good guys, but it's not like it was here and I miss it. That's what I'll typically hear, and that's what we sell. Yeah.
Well, just want to give you mega kudos for increasing the staffing and getting fine officers in here. I'm sure that takes some of the load off the other officers that were probably, towing the rope with less staffing. Is the lateral transfer amount, is that something that would be a negotiated thing, or is that just something the city does? How does that work?
I wouldn't be in favor of putting that in the contract as negotiated items. I think that's a management right, and I'm reluctant. I'm always reluctant to put management issues in the contract. Contract, to me, and I've been on both sides of the table, administration and labor, I think that should be for benefits, things like that. I think a lateral move would be in the recruitment category, and I think that's something that should be administrative.
Okay.
I really do.
Sounds good. It's the world I come from, so I just have more questions than usual.
I think it behooves us to keep the contract as tight and as simple and as concise as possible. You get too many management things in there, then it gets cloudy, and I've seen that happen in other departments. It's not productive.
What's the max that an officer will max out on longevity bonus? Is it bonus, or I don't know what you guys call it? What's the max longevity extra?
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. In terms of dollar amount?
Yeah.
I'll take Linda's word for it. She's more schooled.
So max out of 1,000. So if you're here for
Yeah,
20 or
you're
30
right.
years, no matter what, it's 1,000.
I just read it. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Sorry, maybe I didn't know how to ask it
No,
right.
it's me.
So yeah.
Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just.
I was thinking
make
about,
sure.
I was thinking about the pension, the points you earn after 20. That's
No, yeah,
where
I understand that one.
I want to skew.
Yeah. Go ahead, Councilman Calgo.
It just goes back to what we're saying now about, and it's every department, you know, obviously I know more of the police to fire issue part of it, but every single department, you guys are asking to do more with less. And we finally get to a point where we're trying to build up money, where we can give raises, you know, like we talked a while ago about the pension, why these guys don't pay their 6%. That's stuff that was negotiated in lieu of pay. That's why our pay is low. And I congratulate you on keeping the guys here that you can. And it just makes me sick. These guys at the state level, they do this to us and handcuff us and don't allow for the people that deserve the money. It's tying the mayor's hands and everything else. But boy, by God, they sure didn't change the way they do it. If this is so great, why don't they do it that way? Yeah. But they don't want to do that. And everybody, you ought to be on your representatives, your Senate. I mean, let them know, because I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And it makes me sick as a councilman that we can't do that for you guys. And I'm sorry that we can't.
Well said. I commend you for saying it, and I couldn't agree more. In fact, I mentioned to Lori Goss-Reeves the other day that a version of that very thing. It seems, I don't like the word unfair because life is not fair, but it seems unfair to put on mayor and elected officials who get unelected by raising taxes, the burden of raising taxes, when you at the state level can take credit for, and I'm not blaming Lori Goss-Reeves, she's very, very good at her job, but she's the representative, so she had to hear it from me, that on the state level you can take credit for reducing property taxes. And the hidden thing is that now he has to consider raising taxes. You have to approve it, and we're not frivolous here, so there's not much to cut. So then you raise those taxes. You guys feel the pain of that. We're still not much in a better position to raise taxes, and then the state police can get a raise that puts them at $30,000 more than we make a year. You can't compete with that. I don't care how much of a family environment you have, or how welcoming you are, or how supportive you are. When you're talking $30,000 more a year, that's tough. And guys like these guys in the back of the room, it's hard for me to look them in the eye and say, I don't blame you. And I tell these guys when they come into my office to say, hey, I'm looking elsewhere, I think they're kind of shy about it because I think I'm going to be mad. I'm not mad. If we loved you coming in, we're going to love you going out the door, and I don't blame you. Now, but I do say, what can we do to keep you? But you can't blame a man or a woman for looking to improve their situation. That's not wrong. But I think as time goes on, I think we'll be more competitive. I hope so anyway. I know the mayor's on the same page with that. That's one of the reasons I'm working for him, because I know he cares about public safety. He cares about these people. And I think we're going to do better as time goes on. But I just would caution patience and understanding. But I don't want to belabor, you were exactly right. It just seems duplicitous on, we're going to lower taxes and we're going to give state police, no offense to state police, but to give them these robust raises at the same time that we're feeling hardship, and we have to tell our police officers, no, we can't do that. That's not right. It's not right.
Well, I appreciate that, and I would, goes back to how much it costs to hire both a firefighter and a police officer, to train them, go through academy, equipment, versus to keep them, retain. And I know the mayor would do anything he could if he could. His hands are tied right now, but I just want to go on the record that I would support when we are able to, and the budget allows, I would support increasing that retention amount, $1,000. I don't know what it is for fire, but if it's anything close to that, I mean, that's crazy to me. But it's just our hands are tied right now. But I still have friends in another department in this state, and I think their max is like $10,000.
Yeah.
So this tells us what we're competing against around the state. $10,000 max for retention is really nice, but we're at 1,000. So I hope maybe at some point we can get to that.
And that word competing is exactly what it is. We're competing. It's if you're not hiring the best, you're hiring the rest. And I can only say it again. I've said it in this setting before. If you're not hiring the number one candidate or the A+ candidate, you're hiring something less than that. In our business, that's not good. We need to hire the best candidates who want to be quality people, who have the character to be quality people. When you start hiring people who are questionable, that's when you get on the news. And I don't intend for us to be on the news. So we just have to keep doing the best we can. It's not a selfish thing. The officers don't. It's not selfish for them to say they want more to provide for their families, but they earn everything they've gotten. So I just agree with you. I just hate that we're in this situation. I know the mayor does too.
Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for your leadership. Thank you to all the officers and firefighters. We just ask, be patient with us. Let us get through the next legislative session. We have this one-time amount to be able to do the bonus, which might to some seem like, you know, little peas in a pod, but it's what we can do until we can figure out what 2028 is going to look like. And we're being told that the next legislative session, they are looking at other alternatives or whatever, but we don't know until we get through that. So I just appreciate you holding the line and ask the officers and the firefighters to be patient with us. But I would say when we can and when we're able to, I would be a huge proponent for that longevity, because it's not just how much it costs to replace them, but you lose that retained knowledge, that experience. You know, a brand new firefighter is going to attack a fire a little bit different and maybe a little bit slower than an experience, no different than an officer showing up to a shooting. It's that experience makes a huge difference.
I don't want to belabor the point, but it's timely that you said that. The officer I mentioned who had the two-wheel cart moving out of his office, he's a captain. He's been on since 2009. He's not earned his 20-year pension yet. And that's important because he's leaving he can see the light at the end of the tunnel of earning a 20-year pension. He's leaving before he's earned that to go to a department. He's already done the math. He's a smart man. He's done the calculation that if I work at this other department X number of years, I will have made up the loss that we'll have on the pension I would have earned here, and I will have doubled my investment. So he's rolling the dice that I'm going to work. If I work there, and he's young enough to do it, if I work there X number of years, I will have erased that loss, that deficit. I will have doubled and tripled it. He'll make more money leaving, even though he's leaving behind a 20-year pension. That is eye-opening. When he first mentioned it, I told him I thought he was stupid, but he laid it out for me, and I couldn't argue with it. That's crazy.
Well, I appreciate it, Chief. I know I want to be conscious of time. Any other council members? Councilman Brunner?
Real quick, I'm on the streets a lot, and it just seems like I see a lot of your cars out on the street. Do you have more officers spending time on the streets this past year?
Yes, but not as substantial as you might think. What we've done is we've streamlined all other parts of our department. We have a kind of a skeleton crew in all other areas. I don't like talking about the past except what it means today, but in the past we would have double-digit numbers of detectives. I remember having 15 detectives at a point in time. We have 7 or 8 right now. We used to have a training officer. We do not have a training officer now. In our narcotics unit, we used to have anywhere, when I was chief before, we'd have six or seven officers, detectives, and we have 2 now. So we've recognized that patrol is the backbone of the department. We have to hold the line there, so we've streamlined every other part of our department to maximize our exposure on the street, and that's what we've done. So that's why you're seeing that.
Thank you.
Any other council members? Thanks so much, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, moving on to, well, we did animal control already. Transportation. All right. Well, good evening. It's only been a couple weeks since I've seen you, since we featured you on the City Employee Spotlight. Jeff, thanks for coming.
And my wife the other day, so.
Look at that. You know, I didn't plan it that way. It just happened that way, but good timing. Maybe we should have done both of you at the same time and.
No.
Then the, okay,
you
separate,
did it right.
separate entity. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, hers was real good. I appreciate you guys doing that for her.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming. Anything you want to say before we go to questions?
Yeah, I got mixed emotions today. You know, this is Chuck's last budget meeting, budget. He's retiring. But we do have Andrea Wirt, who's taking his place, and Pam Lemming, and Chuck is training her to take that position.
Good luck, darling. You got some big shoes to fill.
Chuck, we really appreciate you. I mean, you've been probably doing this job longer than I've been alive.
45 years.
Yeah, I'm
You ain't
41.
that. You're
so
not that.
I really, really appreciate all your service to the city and all the writers that have benefited from your work and services. And there's just nothing we can say to encompass what all you've done for the city. And we really, really appreciate you. Andrea's got a lot to learn. I'm sure she's going to do fantastic. And I'm glad I appreciate you doing this so we can transition. You can share some of that knowledge with her, and she can, maybe in 30, 40 years, we're talking about how you've been doing it for so long. So,
well, I'm retiring at the end of this year and getting to be an old man.
I'm gonna let Chuck take over.
I will. I do have something to report. You know, as you all know, these are reimbursement grants that we get for transportation. And the amount that's for 2026 that we applied for in May of this year, I came before you in March for the authorizing resolution, and we filed a grant application in May per NDOT requirement, and that's in. We're still waiting to hear back from NDOT as to where the final numbers rest, but the amount that we have applied for covers the amount of the city budget for 2026. That's before you now. So anyway, if that is approved, we believe that's going to take place in September. Then you'll be reimbursed about 60% of the cost that you incur in 2026 for the transportation department. So just wanted to say that, put that out there for you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions I may be able to.
all right. Any council members with questions? You did such a fantastic job. No one has any questions. So look at that.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll just echo, since I don't look like there's much questions. Again, Chuck, thank you. 45 years of what you've done has been amazing. And I think 45 years of service, when he retires, don't he get a bus to take home or no? Thank you, Chuck, for everything.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
No more budgets. You're going to frame that one on the wall and say, this is my last one?
No, I'm done with this one.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done with it, yeah. Well, Chuck, actually, one other thing I want to ask. So what do you have planned for retirement?
Well, I'll spend 6 months in Indiana and 6 months in Florida.
Oh, where at Florida?
Fort Myers.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to stay here in the winter?
No. No, it's just the opposite.
Well, have a great retirement. Thank you so much. I know it's not your last day, but I want to, we have a public platform. I want to say thank you so much.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, and you don't have to do any more late nights coming in here. You can be on the beach instead. All right. And last but not least, because we've already done parks. All right, was there another one after that? We got aviation as well. Marion Street Department. Don't worry, next year I'm gonna try and maybe we'll flip these,
I'll believe that when you do it.
rotate it. Well, Rose got to go, and we'll get that.
Me and Andy asked
Yeah.
him to put you up, but he said no, so.
We'll just ask, well, I guess it's department numbers, really, they're kind of going in order, but maybe we can do the highest number first next year. See, we're already negotiating on your behalf, Randy.
Where's the dinner we talked about?
I don't have to turn the camera off real quick. Hold on a second. Just kidding. All right, street department. Randy, anything you want to share before we go to questions?
You answered it. We're dead last again, so I don't have any issues.
How does it look next year? I know we're kind of splitting off parks and street. How do you think that looks?
We're going to go back to being a more traditional street department. So, hate to say it, but right now we're like a glorified parks department. We do most of our work through the parks. I mean, we do street work, but not what a normal street department does. So to be honest with you, we're kind of looking forward to taking that role again.
What, for our residents and people driving on the roads, do you see a change or ability to provide more services to the streets with this new structure?
I don't necessarily see the ability to provide more, but we will do more pothole filling and things of that nature than what we do now.
That would be more.
Well,
and for the people driving on the streets,
no
that's
kidding.
music to their ears.
we do it now, but not
Oh, I know.
as often.
But you can
It'll be
concentrate more on
there.
what you should be doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to be humble, but that is more. So I'm meaning it in a good way. So we're excited that you guys can focus more on the streets, and I appreciate the mayor doing this. It's been a concern. People talk about potholes and alley maintenance, things like that. So I'm looking forward to you guys being able to actually be the street department again. So,
Us too.
And I think you're the right guy to do it. So
Appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. Any council members with questions?
Mr. President, this is an email I got yesterday from a street department employee, from Rhonda Pearson, and I'm reading it. It's not lobbying, I'm just being the conduit, reading it. Good afternoon, Mike. We as a group would like to propose a one-year delay in the departmental split. We believe this postponement would allow department heads ample time to assess their needs and gain a clearer understanding of their projected cash revenue. This additional year would also facilitate the determination and acquisition of necessary equipment, ultimately leading to a more financially responsible tradition. Just passing along an email that I got.
Any comment, Mayor?
It's illegal.
So this really should have, according to law, should have never been done because of the intermingle of funds? Or let's get some clarity on that. Melinda? Melinda's coming up.
When the departments were combined, it was a legal thing. In 2018, they passed a House bill that said the street department funds should be used for street departments. It's been a long time to try to tackle the separation back the way that it should be, partially because of the finances. But actually, we were in a better place this year than Senate Bill 1 decides to take about $840,000 from us. But we do, with taking some of the staff from the street department that normally work at the parks department anyway, we feel like it's the time to do the right thing and separate the funds out, because there are two different funds where they both have their own property tax levy. So we need to put the expenses where they go and try to get in line with the state statute.
Well, I appreciate you sharing and clarifying that, just so people know the Parks Department actually has a Parks Board. The Street Department does not have a street board, so they are really separate entities. With the Parks could levy its own tax, it could have its own police department, so by statute they are separate, but I'm sure.
I'm just passing that on.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm sure it's going to be uncomfortable and bumpy at first. But at some point, you got to rip that Band-Aid off. And here we are ripping it off. and I think it's better for the streets. I hope it's better for the parks, but anyone that works in either of those departments, I ask them just to ride it out, and I think things will make more sense and be more smooth when it's all said and done.
I agree.
Any other questions from the council for Randy?
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Randy.
We're skipping parks, we'll let them go first. So Randy, remind me next year, or whoever is sitting at this desk next year, to let you go first, okay? It's on, it's recorded, yeah, but somebody else could be sitting here, so it may not be me. All right, last but not least, Board of Aviation. And same thing applies to you. Remind us next year, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome. We're at the 206 Fund, last one in the book for the council members. Anything you'd like to share?
Nothing particular. Just thank you for the opportunity to defend.
Okay, any council members with questions? Hopefully things are going well with the fuel tanks.
Yes,
That's
we're
moving
getting
along now?
It is moving along. It is. We've signed an agreement and we're getting things moving.
Excellent. Council members, questions? No changes here?
No.
Okay. You had to wait to the very end for nothing, but you had to be here. Thank you so much.
You're ready.
You're still
Appreciate
keeping the ice cream shop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We will keep that at all costs.
I appreciate Councilman Klein. He always finds a good way to plug the ice cream shop. I love it. So, all right. Any other council members with any other questions for the mayor? Or mayor, anything else you want to share?
Nope, I'll just say thank you all so much for working with us. We obviously have 3 more meetings to get through this, and I'm available. You want any appointments with our department heads, and then just reach out to them via email, and then we can set it up. Any other questions, I'm open to it, and we want to work through this. And thank you all so much for working hard. I know this is a big deal for you. It's a lot of pages, lots to understand. So again, we appreciate your service for passing, working with us on getting the budget passed.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor. We safe to say we can send this. We don't, does any consensus on needing another budget committee meeting? Because if not, you can still ask questions before the next council meeting. Of course, we're going to go through 3 hearings, so we're not going to suspend rules on that. I don't even know if we can, but I wouldn't anyways. So we're going to do 3 readings, both in September and the last one first week of October. So as the time goes on, if you see something else, ask questions. Of course, the second reading will be a public hearing as well. So we good? Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Mayor. Appreciate it. Dismissed.